question I got for a Molus first round today. Basically, they told me that they gave me these three metrics. So the IRR is 35%, the WACC is 15%, and the cost of equity is 20%. And the question they asked me is this a good investment? And I said yes, just given the fact that the WACC is 15%, IRR is 35%. So it just made sense from that. But then he kind of asked me, I think it was just hard for me to understand because he phrased it very weirdly, but he said like, is there anything else you might want to take into consideration? And then I guess like he wanted me to say like I was a little unsure like what to exactly say to that. Like he was kind of asking me like, is there anything else you want to see beyond the numbers? And I basically like just wasn't really sure what to say. I said like he gave me like a hint like maybe think about leverage. So I was like, okay, well yeah, it does seem like there's leverage here given the fact that the WACC is 15% and the cost of equity is 20%. If it was all equity, it would have been 20%. Right. So I said that. I don't really know what he was getting at though. I just said that and then wasn't really sure what else to say. Was curious what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, it's a weird question. I saw you post this. I guess based on the information you just provided, I'm just guessing, but I think that cost of equity is 20%, WACC is 15%. That means there's some amount of debt in there.
Oh, and he also said think about beta. Like I don't know what that meant.
Think about beta.
Yeah, I was so confused after that. And like I'm definitely not like misphrasing his question. Like I like was
beta
pretty clear.
Beta is by definition.
Maybe he was trying to say levered beta, like it's a levered beta instead of unlevered. I'm not sure.
Well, I was gonna say like it feels like he's talking about an LBO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 35% IRR, 15% WACC. There's some amount of debt being used, but I think like anytime it's like, hey, is this a good investment? There's like so many. That's like such a
usually it's not a clear cut answer. You usually don't want to just say yes, right?
Yeah, usually it's like, well, it depends, right? Like one, it seems like there's a certain amount of debt that's being used for this deal because WACC is lower than the cost of equity. So you will want to know like how much debt is it, and like is this company going to be able to service that debt, right? Based on what you believe the forecast is going to be. Also the 35% IRR, like you're gonna want to like conduct due diligence on those numbers and like on whether those forecasts are credible, right? Because I can make any LBO model spit out 35% IRR if I'm aggressive enough on the forecast, right?
Right.
But like if that's the bull case, then like what does the base case say, or like what's the downside case? Right. And then like there's other qualitative factors as to whether this is a good investment or not. Right. The other thing about like whether it's a good investment is like that I would have said
what would those qualitative factors be, by the way? Like just some examples.
Just like the characteristics you would look for in an LBO, right? Like so for example, you want to know like the revenue composition, right? Like for example, like how is there like a recurring nature to the revenue? How predictable and how consistent is it? Is the revenue highly concentrated? Like if you have a shit ton of 90% of your revenue comes from one customer, like what if that customer leaves, then you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
How strong is the management team and what's their track record? Like what competitive advantage does this company have over their competitors? There's so many things you can look into, right?
Right.
You can drill down to the revenue. You can look at like their margin structure. Like, what if the forecast assumes that you're going to have like, significant margin expansion, like your EBITDA is going to go from like 20% margins to 30% over 5 years. Like, well, if that's what you have to believe to generate these types of returns, like, is that realistic? To grow your EBITDA by 50%, so like there's a lot of like, and what's going into that? Oh, because you're going to aggressively, I don't know, cut headcount and just make everything super lean. Like, sure, like that looks good in a financial model, but realistically, like, will things start breaking if you start cutting like half the team just to like juice your margins? Like, so like, that's what I mean by like qualitative factors. Like it's not as simple as just like putting
Right.
numbers in an Excel spreadsheet, which like if it was, then everyone could do this, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like those are just like some ideas. I don't know if like that's what he was looking for, but
Yeah.
it's a
I
very
think like
weird
once
question,
I,
and it's
yeah.
worded in a very weird way. So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That was
Yeah, I
from
wasn't too sure either,
that was
but
from Molis, you said?
yeah. And these weren't at all like the most questions that were given on like Slack, because I know some most first rounds were put on there, but I think one of them, like just a simple EV was on there. But yeah, I don't know. We actually spent like the majority of the conversation, like it was just a 30-minute talk on like a stock pitch I did. So, and then he was just like, "Oh shoot, I forgot to ask technicals," and then he just like zoomed through these,
I see. Yeah, I mean,
and that was the last one.
the other thing I would have said too is like, is it a good investment? Well, the other thing you always want to know is like, what are the alternatives? Like, what other investments can you make besides this one? And it's all relative, right? Like, whether something is a good investment or not, like at the end of the day, you have a limited amount of capital and you have to kind of allocate that to whatever you decide is worthy of that allocation, right?
Right.
So simply only knowing that this deal is 35%, if I have a bunch of other opportunities that are 40 or 45%, then this is not a good investment, right?
Yeah. I should clarify, you did say like this was like a project. Suppose you have a project and it has like 20% cost of equity, 15% WACC. So that's why I wasn't sure if I was even supposed to consider it as a LBO.
I see.
Yeah.
I think all the principles will still apply though,
Yeah, that's true.
even if it's just a project.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Thanks, Sam.
Yep. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.